So this won't be a typical video for this channel, but recently I got my vaccination from COVID-19, and a lot of people were asking me, how you feeling, what are the side effects, what's going on with you, and I don't think they were as much concerned about me as they wanted to know what's going to happen to them when they're going to get it. So today I want to talk about what side effects I had and how I felt during different stages once I got my COVID-19 vaccine. I know a lot of people looking forward to getting it, and I figure it'll be useful for you to know what to expect and how you can prepare. So in the first part, let's talk about sort of objective part, like what happened, what I felt, and then in the second part we can go into more subjective things like would I do it again, does Bill Gates put microchip into a vaccine, and be sure to stay until end of the video so you could find out how to buy a scanner to find your microchip. That's a joke, there is no microchip in vaccine, this is a remote control. The vaccine I got is Moderna, and there are 2 injections about a month apart. So when I got my first one, I got it in my right arm, and there are no side effects except some localized numbness and just discomfort in the shoulder. In the first one, it wasn't bad at all. The only time it gets uncomfortable is if you kind of forget about it and you kind of sit there computer doing something and you go like, oh, I want to grab that, ow, what, oh, that's weird, and you kind of move around and then it kind of goes away and then you forget about it and you're like, oh, that's kind of annoying, right? So that's really the only thing that happened after the first shot. And then it went away like 24 hours or something like that. It wasn't a big deal at all. The fun started after the second shot. So the second one I figured, all right, let's do the left arm, right? So I got shot on the left arm, and the same localized pain there. Again, not terrible, nothing like super uncomfortable. It is kind of annoying that it's there. It's kind of numb, you know. Again, you move your hand around, you know, and it's fine. When you forget about it, it's kind of annoying because when you just sit there and not do anything, you completely forget that there's anything going on. And then when you move your arms, like, ow, what? But it did bother me sleeping a little bit. Like if I want to sleep on the side, it was like, oh, that kind of hurts. You know, I can't roll on that side. So if you have a preference on which side you sleep on, then, you know, get the other side. All right. But what I did is once I kind of forced myself to roll on that arm and kind of just suffer through the pain just a little bit, it seems like it went away. So that's as far as the actual injections and localized discomfort. Now, on to the other things that would happen. All right, I got my second shot Friday at noon. I went home, got lunch, everything was fine. After work, I went out. I was fairly active. I even played tennis a little bit, not like active, just kind of fooling around. Run around with kids, got home, had dinner, still no symptoms or anything. Around 8 p.m., so 8 hours from that, started feeling like this tingleness in my leg muscles, and my knees were like a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess it's starting. So I'm like, let me hit the shower, go to bed, you know, before it gets really bad, maybe I'll be sleeping or something. So I go shower, come out, I'm like, oh, I'm actually pretty cold, like, you know, so the fever starts to come in. So figure 8-9 hours you're starting to get fever. So I'm like, yeah, this is getting cold. So I set up the computer for a little bit, then I said, all right, done. Went in bed. So now I'm in bed and I'm actually shivering now, like I'm, you know. So that's like 9 p.m. maybe. Wife comes in, she's like, I think I have fever. I'm like, you think? You know, so I'm on the blankets, they're freezing. So she gets in the bed and both of us are shivering. We didn't take any medications. I wanted to kind of not take anything, at least for the first night, and see how I do. And then if the second night was going to be bad, I would take something. So fever, probably until, I don't know, 2-3 in the morning, we were like shaking. And then still had fever, but we kind of stabilized. couldn't really sleep well. It was, again, fever, that's what you get. So all night, really bad sleep. I had this funny taste in my mouth. I make these chicken nuggets for kids, and for some reason I had this taste of chicken nuggets. They're really good, but when you have that taste in the back of your throat for like 6, 7, 8 hours, you're starting to feel disgusted by it. So that's what I had. So all night of that, not a great sleep. So get up in the morning, huge headache, just like, whoa, just not fun at all. Still fever, not shaking. I figured, all right, I'm hungry. Let me have good breakfast, strong cup of coffee. Hopefully that'll take care of the headache, and fever we'll deal with. I put some extra clothes on, so I eat breakfast, coffee. Headache eases off a little bit, not too much. And so for the rest of the morning, it's nothing special. Still fever, still headache. I get to lunchtime. I figured, all right, let me eat something, make a small portion for myself. Started to eat. Didn't feel like it. Kind of forced myself. I'm like, I need energy. So, and I kind of started to lay down after lunch, fell asleep, woke up again, stood at the computer. So from there on, it was that headache on and off, and fever on and off. Well, there's no off. It's worse or better. So around like 2 p.m., somebody texts me who got his 24 hours before me. He goes like, yeah, it's like 24 hours. In 24 hours, you're going to be fine. I'm looking at the clock. It's like 2 p.m. I'm like, 8 more hours. Like, damn it. So for the next 8 hours, I kind of, again, suffered through it. I lay down, I sit down, I watch TV, I take a nap, and by maybe 8 p.m., I shower kids. So I took all my warm clothes off, all my hoodies, everything, because when you shower kids, you get half wet too. So shower kids, come out, and I'm like, oh, not bad. I'm not feeling that cold anymore, so maybe that's an improvement. And so like at that point, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., just started to feel like everything was kind of easing off, like all the pressure and everything just kind of coming down and kind of relaxing, And so by 9, it's pretty good. So I'm like, all right, I'm feeling okay. I'm going to go to bed right away so that don't start any other activities. Just get some sleep, right? Just right away, get some sleep. So get in the bed, get some sleep, wake up in the morning. Almost no fever. I feel like 90% back, like 90%. Slight headache, tiniest of fever, like just a little bit. Again, have good cup of coffee, breakfast, headache pretty much goes away. Wife says, you want to go shopping, because ruin the weekend on all this. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, are you okay to drive? Because I'm a little bit like drowsy. I'm like, no, I'm good. So we drove to the store, and like around noon after some shopping, I would feel like I was back to like 95%, right? So that morning, just walking around the store, got back to normal. And that's pretty much it. Like when I got home, probably 99% back. Next morning I woke up, still just like that hint of a headache, like kind of an echo, but again, after breakfast, that all went away. So that's that's kind of what my symptoms were. Short story, 24 hours of fever and headache. Now on to more subjective part. Was it worth it? Would I do it again? So I feel like I wasn't too worried about getting sick. I feel like I could handle it. Probably a stupid idea to think like that because you don't know how it's going to affect you. But I kind of felt like I could handle it. I had two concerns. Reason why I got the vaccine, I had two major concerns. One is I definitely did not want it to pass it on to anybody else. That was like a huge thing for me. I would feel really bad if I get somebody else sick, or especially a family member or something, or an elder person who can't handle it. I would feel super bad about it. I really did not want that to happen. So hopefully that eliminates that as much as possible. And the second reason is more selfish. I like outdoor activity. I go running, I play tennis, whichever, run around with kids. And I hear if you get it, your lungs are pretty messed up afterwards. So I definitely did not want to mess up my lungs if possible. So that's my personal reasons why I feel like it's worth it for me, and I would do it again if I have to. Now, the other people say is they feel vaccine was kind of rushed. Do I feel like that I was rushed? Based on my research, Googling online and watching YouTube videos, I would say no, it wasn't. What I found out is there were few interesting technologies in vaccine development that came about just a year or less before COVID. And those technologies allowed scientists to build this vaccine so quickly, like there are different delivery methods of it or something like that. I don't really know much about it. But they become available to scientists just like a year before COVID. So it was that perfect timing. The second reason why I don't think it was rushed is because of during normal vaccine development, there is a lot of paperwork, bureaucracy, waiting, getting approvals, having board meetings, people sitting around doing nothing, waiting. So what we did is we eliminated all the waiting and we went straight to work, right? And we just got it done. Would I say I feel the trials of it were rushed? Perhaps, yes. I would think normally vaccines take longer to get evaluated based on our situation. As the evaluations were ongoing, it was showing that it is effective enough and it's safe enough, and that's why I was like, okay, go ahead, let's go with this, right? And as we gathering more and more information, it seemed to be fine, right? So it seems like the decision was made correctly. So to answer that question, I don't think development was rushed, but trials perhaps were a little bit expedited, which, given our situation, is probably appropriate. So I do want to say thank you to all the scientists for all the hard work, who I'm sure are not watching these videos. But anyway, thank you for developing a vaccine. I feel privileged to receive it. Thank you for all the frontline workers who were helping people and still helping people during this pandemic. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. If you have any more questions about my symptoms or anything like that, please put them in the comments section below. I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. Thanks for watching. See you next time.